Hello everyone, my name is Jackie and today I'm here with the birthday book tag because the day you're seeing this video is my 25th birthday and yeah, let's just dive right into it. So the first prompt is Birthday Cake, a book with a plot that seems cliché but you enjoy it anyway. So for that I'm going with Frostblood by Ellie Blake. This is the most cliché fantasy book I've read in years, although to be fair it's also a couple of years old already. It was one trope after the other and for some reason I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun reading this. It's about Ruby, who is a Fireblood, but she lives in a country where being a Fireblood is illegal because the monarchy are Frostbloods. So one day her village gets burned to the ground and she decides to take revenge on the Frost King, and on the way there she meets a Frostblood soldier who's a rebel and wants some changes too, and she isn't really sure if she can trust him. You can probably guess what happens with those two. It's just so many tropes. There is a kind of competition where she has to fight and it's just so many tropes, so cliche but so much fun. I really need to read the rest of the series. The next prompt is Party Guests, your most anticipated release for this year, and I took that to mean over the next 12 months. So I'm going with A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas, which is the next book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and it's the first one about Cassian and Nesta. And while they're not my favorite characters, especially Nesta in the original books, everything set in this world, I'm going to read it. No, forget that. Everything Sarah J Maas writes, I'm going to read. So I'm so excited for it. I can't wait for it. I'm really hoping they're doing the covers like the original covers for A Court of Thorns and Roses and the others, because I really don't like the new covers. So, but we'll see. I can't wait for this book. And the third prompt is Birthday Presents, a book that surprised you with how much you loved it. And for that I'm going with More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, because I was really scared to pick up any of Adam Silvera's books because I heard they tend to be rather sad at the ending. I mean, maybe I just imagined it because he wrote a book that's called They Both Die at the End, and I'm really scared to read that because it sounds sad. But while it wasn't a happy feel-good book, it was a really great book that I enjoyed a lot. So I'm really glad I read that, and I'm definitely going to read Adam Silvera's other books. And the fourth prompt is the Happy Birthday Song, a book that certainly deserved all the hype it got. And for that I'm going with Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan, the whole series, or actually everything Rick Riordan writes, because he just writes amazing stories about kids and young teens, and it's so great. He also writes diverse characters, as far as I can tell at least, so that's great too. I really love these books. I read them for the first time when I was 20 or 21 and I absolutely fell in love with it, and then I kept reading all of Rick's books. So this is a really great book and I think it deserves all the hype it got. And the fifth prompt is Happy Music, a book with some beautiful and truly memorable quotes. For that I'm going with the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas, because they have one of my favorite quotes in there. Although I'm not sure, I don't think any of them is in the first book. I know for a fact one is in A Court of Mist and Fury, and I think there's one in A Court of Wings and Ruin, but I'm not entirely sure the moment. But they have some of my favorite quotes. So one of them is, I think in the last book, when Mor says to Feyre, "Don't let the hard days win," which I really love. And another is in the second book, a conversation between Rhysand and Feyre. To those who look at the stars and wish, to the stars who listen and the dreams that answer, which is a really beautiful quote, I think. There are a couple more, but that's the two I can remember from the top of my head. And prompt number 6 is Getting Older, a book that you read a long time ago, but you think you would appreciate more if you read it as a more mature reader. For that I'm going with The Diviners. This is the first book by Libba Bray and it's the German edition. I actually really love the cover. I've read this book when it was first released, which was... when? 2014. I was 18, 19 at the time, and I enjoyed it, but not enough to keep up with the series. I read the second book too, and I think the third and fourth won't even be released in German, so I would have to switch to English, and it never interested me enough to keep up with it. But one of my favorite booktubers really loves this book, and I trust her recommendations, and also I know I enjoyed it, so I might give this a second chance and read it again. But I think that now it would be more for me than it was back when I read it. And the last prompt is Sweet Birthday Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period of your life. So I can't really think of anything, because I can't think of a demanding, trying period of my life apart from COVID, and I was in a reading slump during the thick of it, so. But there are some books that just make me happy whenever I read them, and I picked out two of them to show you. One of them is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This book and the movie To It Love Simon too just make me smile and feel happy every time I read it or watch the movie. And the same goes for Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This comic is just so cute and adorable, and I love it. Those two just make me happy whenever I'm picking them up. So that's everything for my birthday book tag. If you've read any of the books I mentioned here, or if you're excited for the new Sarah J Maas book, let me know down in the comment. Let's talk about some of them, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!